Hello guys, todos. How's everybody doing today? Hope everybody's having an amazing day as always. Make sure you subscribe, get this channel to 300 subscribers because we're almost at it. We only need 13 more subscribers, so please push that subscribe button. Also, hit that like button as well. So you can lift weights pretty good. Like you're like throwing around like I'm gonna say about 220 pounds, and you can bench press 315 pounds. But when it comes to the pull up, you struggle with it. I wonder why. It's probably because bench pressing and a lot of weightlifting doesn't correlate with a lot of calisthenics. With that being said, the only way you can do a pull up is if you practice that shit. So a lot of people want to learn, like know how to do a pull up. A lot of people say, "I want to learn how to do a pull up, JJ. How do you do it? What's the technique?" And then I teach them, and they still can't do a pull up. The reason why, because you're not really practicing the pull up. You're not practicing the pull up the way you should be. The way you should be, right? So when you do a pull up, when you're practicing for it, that is, honestly, if you don't practice at a young age, like the younger you are, the younger you start with pull ups, the easier it's going to be for you in the future, right? And if you keep doing pull ups, it's going to be easy for you in the future. Like a lot of these people that can do pull ups, they probably started at a young age, right? But however, you're that person that's lifting weights and you can't do a pull up. You struggle with a pull up. You're like lifting heavy and shit, but you weigh a lot. You're just not used to your weight, man. You're just not used to your weight. You're not used to maneuvering your body in a certain way with calisthenics. You don't know the way to grip the bar. A lot of people put their thumb over the bar with the pull up, which is honestly good if you're going over the bar, if you want to do a muscle up. But it doesn't really. I think you should have your finger like under the bar just for better grip strength, right? Because it's like a hook. That is probably one of the reasons why you can't do a pull up as well. Also, you just like I said, you just don't practice for it. You know, you have to practice with something to get better at it. You have to practice with something to learn how to do it. You can't just keep thinking, I want to do a pull up one day and not practice it. So the way to practice a pull up is simple, but it requires a lot of discipline too. I don't believe in using that pull up machine. I say don't use that just because it's very inferior if you want to get the pull up down. It doesn't really correlate with the calisthenic ability of pulling yourself because you're really not pulling yourself. It's hella resistance on your body. What you could do is do pull up negatives. You can also use resistance bands, and then you can just do your 1 rep max of like so you can do your 1 rep max do your 1 rep max for a couple sets. So just by doing negatives, you're kind of gonna get that strenuous feeling in your back when you're going down slow. So when you're going down, you want to count to like 3 to 5 seconds. I think 3 is a better range. So you count to 3 seconds when you go down, and you just do that for as much time as possible. So you have to have something to stand on just so you can get your shin over the bar to make it a pull up. Pull up negative. With resistance bands, you just start with some type of resistance that you're comfortable with. You start with that, and you keep going down and working your way up to once you have a good pull up. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't have to be the cleanest pull up because I understand that I like to do my pull ups perfect, but sometimes I even do my pull ups kind of fucked up, especially when I'm adding weight to it. But it doesn't have to be perfect. You know what I'm saying? But once you get better at it, once you get better with pull ups from using resistance bands and doing negatives, that's when you can kind of correct your that's when you can get your pull ups more perfect from going back to your resistance band routine, like going back to the number you started and doing it straighter, doing it straighter and straighter and straighter every time, and that's gonna make your pull ups look clean, like you're fucking floating or some shit, right? And the 1 rep max thing is just you just doing, like say you set a timer. You do pull ups, right? You do pull ups after your 1 rep, like just pull as hard as you can on that rep. You know what I'm saying? Pull as hard as you can. Like try to literally get your waist over the bar. I know it's not gonna happen probably if you're not really good in pull ups, but just try to pull as hard as you can. And do that for like 5 sets. The 1 rep max method. That's just gonna help you with your explosiveness. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna help you be more explosive with the pull up. And that is really all you gotta do with the pull up. I feel like I said, the younger you start, the easier it's gonna be for you. Um, I started at like a young age, so that's the benefit. If you're watching this and you're young, take advantage right now and just start doing pull ups and start doing calisthenics. Because if you start right now, some of those things that you see on shorts and stuff like that, you're like gonna be able to do it, right? I feel like if I was doing calisthenics like fully from a young age and not messing around weights or like taking protein and like my freshman year of high school and stuff like that, I would probably be at a different level of calisthenics right now. But it's no excuses. I'm still practicing calisthenics right now. But I'm just saying, if you're a kid watching this video, take advantage of the calisthenics journey and world right now and try to put in time and try to learn the skills right now. You know what I'm saying? Train hard. And then when you get older, the things become easy and you're doing like handstands, like, like it's nothing. You're doing front levers, planches like it's nothing. So it's a lot of practice with everything, though. Pull up is it's not really a hard or easy move. You just gotta practice it and stay consistent with it. And I feel like it's gonna be times, you know what I'm saying, where you feel like you're not getting nowhere, but you gotta ignore that, because when you feel like you're not getting anywhere, that's just your brain telling you to stop, and you're eventually gonna stop, right? You're eventually gonna stop, take a break, and then you try to get back into it, and then you're gonna have to start back over. You ever find yourself in cases where you're doing something? It can be anything, right? You're doing something and then you mess up. You like get off your grind and then you try to go back to it. It's harder. It's just harder to get back into it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you're trying to lose some weight, right? So, for instance, you're trying to. I'm off topic, but I don't give a fuck. You're like trying to lose weight, right? So you're like 160, and you're like I'm gonna say 160. I'm gonna say you're 190. You know what I'm saying? You're short 190, like probably like 5'4" or something, right? But you want to lose like weight, so you start training. Right? You start training, you get down to 185, 186 or something, right? And then you stop because you feel like you're not seeing progress after like 2 months, right? You stop and you start back eating food, and then you get back to 190 something, and then you try to start back and then get harder because you basically started back from day one, right? You have to stick with your routine and stay consistent. The more you stay consistent with something, and the more you neglect those negative thoughts of making you quit, you're going to become stronger mentally, and you're going to keep doing what's right for you, So just don't stop. I know you're going to feel like you want to take a break. Like, try to push through that. You know what I'm saying? Try to push through that, because when you push through it, you become better and better and better, and then you go from 190 pounds to your goal range of pounds, probably like 160, 150 after like a year, you know what I'm saying, or 2 years. It took time, but you wasn't worrying about that. You just kept staying consistent, neglecting those negative thoughts and attitudes to your character. So you got to stay consistent at the end of the day with anything and be disciplined to anything. I kind of find myself becoming inconsistent sometimes too, but I still try to push through that as much as possible, and use my positive thoughts to stay on track in the grind. Eso es todo para este video. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you take some of these things in consideration. Peace.